What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we will be discussing exactly what the hell happened in the throne battle between 76 and 78. We will be obviously also discussing the strategies applied from both sides during the battle, to comment on them and make sure you guys are better prepared for next time you have your own throne battle. So we have a lot to discuss in it. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's begin with the obvious one. Why did I play for 78? Do I have a problem with 76? No, this has nothing to do with picking sides. The original idea was for me to do a live stream of doing exactly what I'm doing now, commenting on their throne battle and discussing a bit what players are doing, the strategies implemented and how they could improve it. One thing led to the other, that I ended up having access to a 78 castle, which meant I could not, I didn't just comment on it, but I had a chance to play in that throne battle. So obviously I took the chance, but it has nothing to do with either side. I have friends in both 76 and 78, and I personally find it completely idiotic to be hating an entire state, because most of those stories kind of end up with, I don't like that guy, that guy does not make an estate, or those guys don't make a state. So guys, I know you want to keep it all enemies and friends and all that, but it's just a game. Enjoy it. And with that out of the way, let's focus on the battle itself. So first thing out there is, it was a bloodbath and it was expected. Both 76 and 78 are gigantic states. For my opinion, definitely top three. If I would rank states right now, I would say 76, 78 and 119 are the top three when it comes to overall states, because you can talk about a lot of things on a state like Eden, Rock or Cop, but I think an overall evaluation of states, I would put those three as the top big ones. But the battle itself, there's a lot of things to talk about. Let's first talk about the obvious strategy when it comes to throne battles, because I feel like this is a subject that really needs clarifying. A lot of you have seen also in my videos from 119 throne battles that we always fill up the mud and around the mud with farms and castles to occupy the space so that the enemy cannot get to the center as easy, which is a strategy that you should definitely implement in your throne battles. But that strategy is not just that, and this is one mistake that I have to throw at 78. There's like those farms that you put in the mud will only save you time till they get zeroed out, and the moment the kill event actually starts, those farms will get zeroed out. Either with dragons or attacks, they will all disappear, which is normal. It's supposed to be like that, and the attackers should already start directly wiping out the farms to start a countdown on the rubble. But what you need to do is actually refill that space with other castles. And that's one point where I think 78 lacked. They didn't have people specifically just for that. The biggest mistakes I see regarding throne battles is, and I've seen this also in 119 in a few of our battles, is you have the main alliance that is there to defend the throne. You have another alliance maybe to deal with the attackers, and then maybe another alliance to attack the enemy state. This is if we're talking about a big state like 78 or 76. But what about the rest of the players in your state? It's true that the small players cannot do nothing when it comes to fighting. Like when you're gonna be having some 100k type of kills like I had, for example, you're not gonna do much to a maxed out castle, and by much I mean like nothing. So there's only two things that small castle can do, which is either being on the dragon team, and for that you need a specific spec, so you can go into red spec and get the red skill for it, or exactly this, make sure the mod stays occupied. And when you have hundreds of players in your state, it should be a main priority to make sure you have as many small players focused only on that. And if you manage to do that, then what happened in 78 throne shouldn't have happened, because the biggest mistake was exactly that. The farms got zeroed as expected, and I'm sure they refilled the spots at the start of it, but like half an hour, 1 hour later, nobody was dealing with the spots anymore, and the entire mod was full of 76 castles, which shouldn't happen. Like, your dragon team or your defense team cannot deal with everyone. So you need to always actively fill those spots. The rubble that your castle leaves behind after getting zeroed is pretty much the equivalent of immunity on tiles. It's a small timer, but the enemy cannot do nothing about it. And this is again something you can exploit during throne battles, and this is something I was trying to do a lot, especially towards the end of the battle. I had people joking about the fact that I got zeroed over and over. Yes, it's true, but that was actually my strategy there. I started running out of stamina, I started running out of gems, so I couldn't actually actively contribute to attacking stuff. But what I could do is fill those gaps, and what I did was I had my castle ungarrisoned. That's because I'm a low castle, so it makes sense to not just pretend I'm gonna defend against some maxed out ones. And I was never healing my walls specifically for that. What I was doing is jumping in an empty spot in the mud, get zeroed out. When that happens, the enemy that attacked me is wasted his stamina. I don't lose much troops or any of it because I'm ungarrisoned, so I can just heal the few troops that got attacked and go back in. And then the more important part, after I get zeroed out, that spot becomes unusable for the enemy for the next 15 minutes. If multiple players do that, you can have rubble everywhere. And even if the enemy does manage to teleport in a spot or the other, you can much better deal with 1-5 enemies than the entire state being there, because you're not taking care of that issue. So that is something that from my point of view 78 could definitely have done better, which means prepare a lot of players, as many as possible, because you're never gonna have all of them. So the more you prepare, the more assurance you have that you have enough players to do that, to fill up those gaps, either with farms, either with ungarrisoned mains, to do what I was doing and just fill those gaps with rubble. Then what else can we talk about? 76. I was in the attacking team, so if you're watching my stream that I did last night, most of the footage is from the attack team. The attack team for 76 wasn't that impactful, and don't get me wrong, all the preps towards 76, their defense team actually did a great job defending, not just with their main castles, but more specifically what I was talking about before, which is filling up the gaps. They were actively always trying to fill those gaps to make sure none of our attackers can get in the mud and get a better position. And props to them for that. This is exactly how you should be defending the throne. But there was also not enough firepower to deal with their defense team. So we did put up pressure, and in all fairness, the strategy was actually to keep them busy, not necessarily take their throne. Because if you don't put any pressure on the enemy throne, then the enemy just has the chance to send all their castles towards yours and then overrun you with castles. So it is actually important, even if you're not specifically planning to take the enemy throne, to put pressure on it to make sure that at least some of their main castles are still there to defend and not come in your state. So besides that, I think the biggest question on everybody's mind is what exactly happened at the end. Was it a legit throne? Was it not? And what happens next? So my stream actually ended before that happened, and I saw that also Pontel was doing live streaming in the same time, so I went on his stream to say hi and talk a bit with him, and that's when the entire thing happened. And from what I've seen, it was pretty much 98-99% 76 throne, and they were still occupying, and 78 had something around 60 to 70%. So it was impossible for them to actually get to 100. I'm talking about 78 here. And then suddenly the throne went into protection, and it stayed 78 underneath it. And I mean, watch the footage.
Wow. There you go. Yeah, what just happened? Can anyone... 78 took the throne back over, and then 76 were on 98%. I have no idea. I do not know what just happened there. Does anyone know what happened there?
As you can see, even Ponte was like, yeah, it must be some visual glitch. Congratulations to 76, because it made no sense why it would be 78 there. So it would probably just be a visual glitch, but actually 78 took the throne. But in fact, the more we waited, the more we realized it was actually 78 that took the throne. So what happened there? Was it actually a rule that nobody understands, or was it just a game bug? So I was corrected by a friend of mine regarding this situation and showed me in the game's rules what the situation is like. So a throne battle is supposed to last from the start of the day till the end of it, which means 2 hours and a half was not the timer to be discussing that it's the end of the throne battle. Second of all, if you are in that situation where the throne battle is still going and nobody's taking the throne, then the alliance with the most occupation will take the throne. In this case, again, 78 was at around 60-70%, where 76 was at 99, 100 pretty much. So no matter how you look at it, it was supposed to be 76 taking the throne, not 78. It was a bug, so congratulations to 76. I'm really sad for you guys, because I know how much money and how much time, troops, gems, speed ups and everything gets involved in such a gigantic throne battle. And it's not fair for either sides, but mostly right now for 76, because they invested so much. They did legally, if I can say that, take the throne, and then because of a game bug they just lose it. So what was Rise of Empires' response? It was pretty much the typical stuff, you know, sorry for the inconvenience, here are some rewards to make you feel better about your life. Bro, do you know how much money was spent in that throne battle? You think 2 super schools and a few hundred gems is gonna cover the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of gems used in that battle? The troops lost, and like I don't even want to know the spenders, how much money they spend for extra stamina and so on, because they do that when, especially in a big battle like this. You really can't. So afterwards they did officially recognize that the game bugged, that it was from the game itself the mistake and not from any players or anything, but they still didn't recognize the fact that it was in fact 76 that took the throne. What they are saying is they are gonna redo the battle between 76 and 78. Like, what is wrong with you? There's footage online, just go watch the actual YouTubers, the content creators making this. There's footage online to clearly see that it was impossible for 78 to be taking the throne. The throne was taken because 76 got to 100%, and because of your bug it got actually put towards 78. The way the glitch worked, from my opinion, is once the throne reached 100% occupation and it gets in the process of declaring the winner, because of the entire lag that was happening, the extra attack from the 78 player got processed in the same time, and then the game pretty much did a A+B, which is throne battle is at throne is at 100% occupation, and this guy's here. Pa-pa. So what Rise of Empire should have done is check the footage, clarify things, give the throne, and that's it. Instead they're doing this. So my last opinion is, if the game is gonna redo the battle between the two states, 78 should acknowledge that they did lose that battle, that they did lose the throne, and without contest give the throne to 76. From my opinion, this is the correct thing to do. Both states fought valiantly and they should respect that battle no matter the result. This was the correct thing to do. But with that, I also close the video. Thanks again for checking in, guys. Let me please know what you think about all of this, your opinions in the comment section. I always respond, so make sure to leave your comments, leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and of course subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.